I mean, every game is different, right? That's one of those things about Settlers of Catan, and why I think a lot of people, who kind of get introduced to the game and then kind of improve, realize, oh, wait a sec, there's like so much more depth to the game than kind of you initially think, as far as strategies, and then when you kind of bring in the kind of table dynamic and the trading and the, let's call it the politics of the game, right? There's so much going on. Makes it really, really fun. But yeah, every game is different, and every game I have one of my lines is like, every game of Catan is a learning experience, right? Because something is going to happen every game that's different to something else. And of course the dice are a huge factor. I mean, that's just the nature of a dice game, or a game where the luck factor is pretty significant. And Catan is definitely a game where the luck factor is significant. So like that game with the 10 there, right? The 10 that my 10 got blocked, but the other 10 was like 4 sheep for the guy that was on the sheep port. So just getting smashed and smashed and smashed, and you're unstoppable if the dice just keep hitting you. And the reverse end of that is, right, you end up with, like, finally you have a turn where you have a bunch of cards in your hand and then you roll a 7, right? Like that's so a game where things kind of flow, and you are picking up the cards, and you're not kind of getting hurt by kind of losing cards to 7s, and that random kind of timely, oh, I really needed the the brick, and then the 3 rolls and gives you the brick that like just little, it's those little things sometimes that make the difference in a game, right? That one time that the 7 rolled and killed your game, the one time that versus the one time where you pull the road build out of the development card deck as like your first development card, and that sets you up for a great game. So never have a quarantined victory. Yeah, I mean, look, some games, for whatever reason, right, they seem to kind of flow in a way where it was like really easy, and you get to 10 points and nobody gets to 5 or maybe 6 or something like that, and then you feel like you're a genius, and then the next game you end up having 4 points, and you get humbled, right? It's a humbling game. And I guess another thing to kind of remember as well is when you're playing a 4-player game, right, like in theory you should have like a 25% chance of winning any game, and so when you look at your stats, right, if you're able to win 30, 35, 40% of your games, you're kind of doing something right. And kind of over a long stretch of games, that's sort of how you really determine whether you're doing well or not. So that stat of like your percentage out of 100 that Colonist shows, yeah, it's always really interesting to see kind of the best players and sort of where their stats are. Hey, Tanti. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. The stats getting manipulated by the players that play like 1v1. That's an interesting point, because yeah, if you're playing a lot of 1v1, then your chance of winning is theoretically 50%. But yeah, win rate of Discord because of the 1v1. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I didn't really think about that too deeply. But yeah, I mean, I only play the 4-player game. Like maybe when I first joined the Discord, I did play like maybe 2 or 3 games, but I've definitely played 100 games since then. Which I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that I play more than 100 games in a month. But if you play against randoms, yeah. So I talked about this, Motu. That's a really fun and interesting point. So right before I joined the Catan community, I sort of started streaming like right before I joined, and then Puzzles ended up kind of finding me on Twitch and inviting me over and all that sort of stuff. But my win rate right before I joined was like 43 or 44, something like that, 43, 42, 44%, something like that. And then like the first 2-3 weeks of me playing in the community, suddenly I'm playing against, people that, I mean, A, are more experienced, B, kind of take the game maybe a bit more seriously, right? There's something on the line, even though it's, league points and whatever, but but people want to win, right? People are playing kind of competitively. So my win rate did drop to like 20, I want to say it was like 22 at the lowest, somewhere around there. But since then, over the last, I would say 2-3 weeks, like I think maybe it's, maybe maybe I was getting a little bit lucky and kind of the variance, right, played in my favor for the last 3 weeks or whatever. But yeah, I've been able to kind of build my percentage. Let's have a look at that actually. Let's do that. Why not? I was at 43. I may have gone down a little bit now because I lost the last 2 games that I played today. But I should be around 41, maybe 42. It's taking a while. But harder players if you play wager games. Maybe I don't know. I find like typically in the community, some of the people that play wager games also play the regular games. So, like I've played some wager games with guys like Space Sheep, for example. And I mean, he's a tough player, right? Like I play with him quite a bit. And Oreo, we play quite a bit and we don't play wager games. And he's, one of the stronger players, I would say, as far as like win percentages and things like that. But yeah, 42%. I'm very happy with that. That's pretty cool. Joining King of Catan dropped your win rate by 20%. That's what I was saying about when I first joined the Catan community, right? It was sort of me kind of dropping quite significantly because I was playing against tougher competition and I had to, make adjustments kind of. It forced me to sort of try to get better, right? I am a competitive person. I'm the first to admit that. And so when I see that I'm like doing poorly, I try to figure out, puzzle things out and see, okay, what can I do to play better, like improving my thought process, decision making, all that sort of stuff. And I do feel like I have, even just in the last month, really improved quite a bit. So this is, hold on, wait, I don't want people to see. That's a bit embarrassing. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. Okay, so we have a few people here. Actually, this might be a good time. So I have a question for the people in the audience. So maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Actually, now I want to say it was 2 weeks ago. Maybe it was last week. But there was that end of March tournament. Now it had to have been last week. So the end of March tournament where I made it to the finals. Apparently, by getting to the finals, I was awarded with 1,000 Colonist bucks. Just to answer the question there, Cool John. Yeah, so the percentage, the win rate percentage thing is based off of your last 100 games. So, I mean, I don't know if you can like look through the archive of, my, whatever it was, 1,200 games there. But yeah, so as far as the win rates go, that's my understanding of it. So your last 100 games are basically what sort of makes up your percentages. Yeah, thanks Motu. So here's the question. I think I was looking at this and I needed to do. Oh, sorry, no, I need to do a zoom in. Right. So I do have 1,000 Colonist bucks that I received for making it to the finals. And so the question to you guys is, what do I do with my 1,000 Colonist bucks here? So there's a few options. I was thinking about doing like a poll. I was looking at, the whole like Nightbot, how do you make a poll kind of thing. But I think that's a bit silly. I don't know. Okay, so let's start with that. Should I make a poll and let people vote on what I should do with my 1,000 bucks? So Cool John, yeah, that was one of the options. Do I save my 1,000 bucks to be able to like buy the Seafarers or buy one of the like major expansions, right? That's option number one. Option number two, so for 500 coins, you can buy like these maps. So I was looking at the idea of like maybe buying the Black Forest map, which I really enjoyed playing, or, something else, some other map. So with 500 coins, I could technically buy 2 maps. I was also looking at the idea of buying 1 map and like 1 icon. And I don't know which icon, but like, something like that. Like buying the tie, suit and tie guy or Scarf Man here. Come on, guys. Like you gotta show Scarf Man some love. But yeah, so those were, so it was like the 4 options are to save the coins to get like a bigger, the snorkel would suit me. Oh, Tonti, you keep trolling me. You always troll me. Why do you do this? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, like we can have another discussion about which icon I buy. Okay, let's. But yeah, so the options are save the coins for like a bigger expansion, buy 2 maps, buy a map and an icon, or like buy the white pieces. So yeah, I'm open to suggestions, and if you guys think that I should make a poll out of this, let me know, and I'll make a poll out of this, and we can like kind of have like the people vote, right? I'm a man of the people. I'm all for democracy, promoting democracy everywhere I go. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the chat, and I'm a man of the people. We'll start with the chat here. If you have Seafarers, you can play it with people that haven't. But yes, this is true. So the maps as well. So the Black Forest map is another example of that. Cool, John. So like if I bought the Black Forest map, I could then have people play with me on the map that I buy, and that's why the maps maybe are. So I will say this, like I kind of created the poll just to see how I could create a poll, and then I kind of like, oh, if I were to vote, this is, so my vote theoretically would go to, I buy a map, the Black Forest, and an icon or 2 with the coins that I have. But I'm interested to see what you guys think, and part of like the reason why I wanted to ask the people that sort of hang out with me here and watch is that, I do want to play with, viewers and, fellow kind of community members and all of that sort of stuff. And, for me to have like one of these maps or expansions would be nice, so that then we can kind of play them together. I can invite you to play those kind of games with me as well. So let's see what people are saying. Yeah, you don't have to, yeah, that's exactly right. Yep. I feel like a lot of people in the community have Black Forest. Yeah, I guess so. Like, I guess like over time, and this is what I was sort of, when I realized, because Puzzles mentioned, oh, you got 1,000 coins for making it to the finals, and I was like, oh, I didn't know I was going to get anything. Like I don't really like the 1,000 coins on Colonist aren't going to change my life here, one way or the other. But it's nice, right? So I think that over time, I will accumulate some coins, and we can buy like a bigger expansion. But I'm just kind of curious to see. You have every map expansion. Awesome. That's really cool. Yeah. So this would be like the first sort of time I've had coins. I've just never really, never really looked into it that much. But I thought it would be kind of a fun thing to share with my friends here in the community and all that sort of stuff. Character, just started watching your YouTube vids recently. What makes you play so much this early for Australia? When do I sleep? Good question. So, I do sleep. I've basically adjusted my kind of sleep schedule in a way where I'm able to, to play kind of competitive tournaments like this and whatnot, and obviously adjusting my sleep patterns to kind of fit my stream here as well to people in Europe and people in the Americas makes the most sense as far as I'm concerned, because as far as the viewing population, let's put it, on Twitch, I don't really think that it would be viable and sustainable if I kind of played in normal Australian times. So that I would say is kind of the first criteria there. I had this idea of basically, sharing kind of the hobby of board games and whatnot, and starting a YouTube channel, and somehow things in life happen a certain way where what my original intention wasn't necessarily to focus on one specific game, but rather to kind of do a variety of different games. And, some way, somehow it made sense for me in the beginning here to start with Settlers of Catan. It was kind of simple, kind of doing something on a kind of in a digital format, if that makes sense, rather than the physical board game and multiple cameras and that sort of thing, which I have been looking into, but it's one of those things where I feel like putting all that effort in, I kind of want to have something a bit more kind of established, and in a sense tapping into one game, and a game like Catan that does have quite a large, let's call it, following, and quite a lot of interest and large communities as well made sense. And so, some way, somehow, kind of I went down the rabbit hole of the competitive Catan streets in the online Catan world.